one of the funniest rejections that came across me and many others that I know is that you are overqualified for the job.
Even when we complete the studies, getting a job as per our qualifications and as per our background is highly challenging.
Immigrants or non-immigrants, people are losing their jobs. The companies are cutting down the positions.
जो सेक्टर जो डायरेक्ट ऑटोमोबाइल से रिलेटेड है वो काफी स्ट्रगल कर रहा है, वहां पे जॉब जा रही है. बट अगर आप देखोगे जेन एआई, डेटा एनालिटिक्स, डेटा साइंस, इन सब में जॉब है.
Remember last month when German Chancellor was in India? Around this time, Germany had increased the visa quota for Indians to 90,000. Everybody was excited. But how much are Indians needed in Germany for jobs? Well, on paper, it might look hunky-dory, but things are different as we research and talk to people on the ground. A career in Germany is not as rosy or as easy as it sounds in advertisements or posters of study consultants, where you are laughing and enjoying the perks of a happy life. Ladies and gentlemen, Germany has changed in the last 4.5 to 6 years. Post-COVID, the demand for jobs has increased, but the supply has been dwindling. The worst impacted are the white-collar jobs, which are your managers, senior specialists working in corporates. Jobs which require a professional degree or a course. So much so that the most important and most needed skill one needs to master to work in Germany today is the proficiency in German language. More than your degree, more than your work experience, what matters is whether you know the German language or not. Now, you might wonder, what are the reasons for this change? There are a few, but the biggest is slow and aging German economy. You heard that right. Germany is aging and so is its supply of oil. Let's just understand that the German economic engine was running on Russian oil and Russian gas. German economy has been contracting consistently over the last 2.5 years. Germany's GDP increased by 0.2% in the last quarter and has just avoided recession. Because it was so dependent on the Russian oil and gas for its economic engine, the Russia-Ukraine war has crippled its economic situation, and Germany has been the worst affected in the entire continent of Europe. Now, the prime economic driver of the European economy has been dealing with high energy and high gas costs post-Russia-Ukraine war, which has eventually resulted into high inflation and unemployment. Russia was the prime and biggest supplier of gas and energy and oil to Europe and Germany in particular. For Germany, already dealing with post-COVID slowdown and slow digital adoption, the war impacted trade relations. Sanctions on Russia impacted trade supply. Now, the German prime sectors, auto and manufacturing, which use industrial gas, have been impacted the most. You see, auto and manufacturing sectors or allied services dependent on them to Germany is what real estate has been to China in the last 10 years. It is the biggest employment generator, biggest network of investment, and the largest workforce till date. Now, we have been hearing how Volkswagen and BMW have been shutting down plants due to high operational costs and competition from China. Now, all this has led to massive firings and extremely slow and selective hirings or rehirings. Most of the hirings or demand is for blue-collar workers who can do the heavy lifting jobs. The German population is getting old. As per recent media reports, around 27% of the total population in Germany was above the age of 60 in 2014. Now, this number is expected to touch 35% by 2030. So yes, young people are needed. Young Indians are needed in Germany, but largely in heavy lifting jobs. Now, white-collar jobs are few, but preference is given to people who know the German language or are natural-born Germans. For Indians coming to Germany seeking a career, there is a long waiting period to get responses from companies, requirement of high German proficiency, Not just the language, but also accent. Chaos is less in jobs related to research, country transfer in the same company, or international data analytics. But for other sectors, they are going through a very rough phase. Now, we spoke to some Indians who have been in Germany for at least 1 to few years and the kind of economic and employment challenges they have been facing. Listen in to all these people.
So I was an IT employee. I have 10 plus years of work experience working in India, and then I decided to move to Germany. The easiest way to come here is to get a student visa. So when I came here, the idea was to find a job, and I did find one. However, the situation is not that easy. The language requirement is gone up. The language proficiency need is very high. However, job market, as far as I have seen so far, mostly IT sectors for data science and development. Apart from that, some jobs are there in fintech and not many jobs. And many students who have now converted to job seekers visa are surviving on part-time jobs, blue collar jobs. So one of the biggest challenges is language proficiency. A lot of people sitting in India think that we can just move to a different country, and then especially a lot of people are coming to Germany. If you're looking for a job in Germany, you will have to be available. You make yourself available for all cities in Germany where German is the most important language in terms for communication and also finding a job. So that's number one challenge. Number two challenge is getting very slow responses. The over here, a lot of people when they apply for job do not really get responses as quickly as normally they would find it in India, for example. The process is really slow. The hiring process sometimes takes multiple weeks, even months, and then that is also a very slow process. And what happens is I mean, for example, in India, we can just go through LinkedIn and apply. Here, you have to apply in a particular manner. You need to have a dedicated cover letter. There will be a personal interview. There will be an interview about profiling, how you fit in the group with the group of the organization, etc., etc. And I feel most of the time there are many kinds of rejections. One of the funniest rejections that came across me and many others that I know is that you are overqualified for the job.
I knew that they were, settling down in Germany won't be easy since already I am in my 40s and, starting a career here would be a challenge. But after coming here, I realized even during the student period, finding a part-time job also was equally challenging because the opportunities as such as it is found in the media is highly inflated, and it's not the reality when we come. Even when we complete the studies, getting a job as per our qualifications and as per our background is highly challenging. And the luckiest people are those who belong to the STEM background. Those they have some concession when it comes to German language requirements, especially people who are working in the technical field and also the healthcare sector. But when it comes to people who have background in management, consulting, and HR background, for them, language is a main criteria.
So for my case, if I say, I already got the job opportunity when I was in India, and then I came to Germany for a certain period of contract. So for my case, it's not that I get into Germany and then study and then struggling for job. So that's not happened for me, luckily. But here, some of the postgraduate students whom I know, so who are completing their masters here, they are having some difficult times in finding jobs. In research job, there is no foundation for language. But for daily life, you say yes. I mean, if you want to get integrated with the community, it's a must that you know their language.
अभी जो ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर में यहाँ बहुत बहुत ही ज्यादा स्लो डाउन हो चुका है, तो जो जो सेक्टर जो डायरेक्ट ऑटोमोबाइल से रिलेटेड है वो काफी स्ट्रगल कर रहा है, वहां पे जॉब जा रही है. बट अगर आप देखोगे जेन एआई, डेटा एनालिटिक्स, डेटा साइंस, इन सब में जॉब है. बट अगेन द सेम थिंग कि वहां पे फिर अगर आपके पास स्पीकिंग स्किल्स है तो आपके लिए काफी आसान है, और अगर आपके लिए नहीं है तो फिर आपके लिए थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होने वाला है, थोड़ा आपको स्ट्रगल करना पड़ेगा. एक तो सबसे पहले जब कोरोना के बाद ये लोग पूरा रिकवर नहीं कर पाए, और उसके बाद फिर वॉर स्टार्ट हो गया. तो जब वॉर स्टार्ट हुआ तो ये लोग फिर से, उनके पास जो एनर्जी प्राइसेस है वो सब हाई होते चला गया. तो जो इनका डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट आया वो ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर पे डायरेक्ट आया. तो वहां से वो लोग धीरे धीरे स्लो डाउन होते चले गए. और उनसे रिलेटेड जो भी थर्ड पार्टी, जो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कोई कंसल्टिंग के लिए किसी को देते थे अपना काम, तो वो लोग उनसे प्रोजेक्ट ले लिए क्योंकि उनके या प्रोजेक्ट बंद कर दिया उनको. प्रोजेक्ट बंद कर दिया गया। तो वो एक रीज़न है और दूसरा रीज़न ये है कि अभी स्टूडेंट पहले के कंपैरिज़न में कुछ ज़्यादा आ रहे हैं। कारण है कि यहाँ पे फीस जो पब्लिक इंस्टीट्यूट है वहाँ पे फीस बहुत कम है। डायरेक्ट जो आते हैं बैचलर्स करने के बाद उनकी संख्या ज़्यादा है यहाँ पे। जो मतलब मास्टर्स जो बैचलर्स करने के बाद जो वहाँ पे, तो मेरा रिकमेंडेशन यही रहता है लोगों को कि आप कम से कम वहाँ पे कुछ साल एक्सपीरियंस लीजिए, क्योंकि अगर आपके पास बिजनेस एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है तो यहाँ पे थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होता है उनके लिए। जो यहाँ पे जो लोग हैं वो आपको ऑफिस में भी दिखेंगे मिड 40s के ऊपर ज्यादा है, तो वहाँ पे वो लोग ज्यादा अडेप्ट नहीं करना चाहते, दे डोंट वांट टू स्पीक इन इंग्लिश। तो वो चाहते हैं कि कोई जो नए बंदे हैं वो जर्मन बोले, ताकि उनके लिए भी सहूलियत है और कंपनी भी काफी इफिशियंसी प्रोड्यूस कर सके।
I don't come from a science background. I come from an econ background, economics background, and I do development economics here. So luckily, I've not had that much struggle in finding jobs because as Abhinav said, that like there's more slowdown in like science jobs, I think, or like technological jobs. I work with the research group inside my university, and like I think someone was talking about the language barrier also. So personally, it's not a big deal for my work right now because I work with an international team inside the university. So I don't work with a lot of Germans. There would be some discrimination factor to it also, because if you have a more German sounding name, your resume would get screened faster, which is, I think, academically proven also in a lot of research studies. I just give one suggestion to all the master students who come to me. I just say that focus on your studies and keep your grades up, because in my experience, grades do matter. And if you're coming to study, your first priority should be study, because I know some people who just focused on getting jobs and then their master's degree suffered a lot, and eventually they had to let go of their master's degree and go back to India because they just couldn't keep up with the master's program. So the master's program here are very rigorous.
But what we are actually right now focusing on, the students we are encountering, is that students at least pass out at least till the B1 language before moving down to the Germany, because I guess B1 level is at most important in terms of communication level, so that you understand the German language very well.
Now